Hi everyone, in this video today, me and two AHD Cat decided to have a Gaslands build off. Just because we both build Gaslands cars and thought we might as well just have a build off. There was no real rules, we couldn't think of a theme, we just thought I would just make some Gasland cars and have some fun doing it. So I'm making my video and he's making his. Obviously, if you're watching my video, go and watch his. The link will be in the description at the end. As soon as his video goes live, I presume he's just going to be up before me because we live in two different countries and there's time zones and such. So as you can see, I chose a Hotwheels Chevy Nomad. Particularly I just chose this because I really like the old 50s cars. So there was no rules, so I'd pick one of my favourite cars and just build that into a Gaslands car. So as usual, here's the car disassembled. There's no hidden details this time, though it does give me a good idea to convert one of these into a pickup truck, although I already have the idea of what I'm going to do with this one. So if I can find another one of these, I'm definitely going to convert it into a pickup truck in the future. Here we have all the build done. So I cut off the bumpers and replaced them with some much beefier bumpers and armoured up the internal compartment, and then built like a very inspired by, like, you know, the armoured Humvees gun turret on top, although obviously this one's got dual machine guns instead of just the regular 150 cal. The idea is they've probably ripped this turret off of a wrecked Humvee and just kind of put it on there. So as usual, I'll go through how I built this. So start off with the front end. So I cut off the original bumper and grille and then just used some styrene tubing to make a much beefier front bumper. Since the grille was part of the bumper, I just used some corrugated styrene to replace the original grille. I thought about adding a blower to this, but I really don't have that many engine parts at the moment, so I decided in the end I'll go with the skull because it would just look as good. This skull's from the Cromleech human skull sprue. As for the door armour, I cut a small little square piece of styrene to match the door, and then cut up some styrene tubing to act as rivets. Yeah, so I also used a piece of small rectangle styrene just to use as a door handle because it was covered up. For the rear bumper again, I just used some more styrene tubing, cut off the original bumper and then replaced it with this. Like they've just, they've built some custom bumpers for it. For the front window, I used the same rectangle styrene just to kind of cover up the window. Originally I would have liked to add mesh, but I don't have any mesh at the moment. This is designed more for visibility and stopping large objects being thrown into the windows, not really for bullets. For the rear, I used some more corrugated styrene. I had actually found I had a bit left, so bonus. Just cut it to the shape of the windows and glued it in place. Now onto the turret. I completely scratch built this, tried to mimic what I thought a Humvee turret looked like. It's probably nowhere near close, but it's close enough with the sand paint job, although I did start painting this because I forgot to take photos of it, so yeah. So both the gunner and the gun are from the North Star Miniature Military Figures Implements of Carnage sprue. It's a good sprue, you get a lot of bits. If you need some bits for Gaslands, definitely recommend picking up that sprue. So for the sunroof, I decided to turn it into a hatch. Unfortunately it's not functioning, it's just, look for looks. And use some styrene tubing for the hinges and the handle there. And finally for the driver, I used one of the 172 scale German drivers that I had. Unfortunately he didn't fit in quite so well, so I had to cut him in half in the end to get him in there. Again, I already started painting the figures before I realised I hadn't taken any photos in the interior. And here we are with the final build now painted. Originally I did want to do a two-tone, keeping the 50s kind of era and style, but I had no white paint, so I was going to be able to paint the roof white. But I did plan to paint it turquoise, just because I kind of like this colour. As for the metal parts, I painted the rust on colour. As for the metal parts, I painted the rust colour first, and then dry brushed on some silver, and then followed that with a lighter colour rust on top, just around the edges, and then finished the whole thing off with some nice, like a black wash that I mixed up. Though it's more of a brown wash, just different colours. I'm still experimenting myself with washes, so I can't really go too much into detail because I know nothing about it. I just looked out and making a right mixture on this one. Initially, I did leave the white wheels on because I do really like white walls, but I just really think it adds to the build. I did paint the hubs because the hubs were black, so I painted them silver and then made them rusty and such. I do really like how this one actually turned out. In fact, I'm going to even use it as my channel icon for a bit. Just because, again, I like 50s cars and this thing turned out pretty good. At least until I build a 57 Chevy Bel Air, because that's one of my all-time favourite cars, and I've got a few but I haven't built any yet, so there's something to look out for in the future. Again, I was building this as part of a build-off with 2 AHD Cat. Go and check out his video, it should be up. I'll put the link in the description, in this video's description. As usual, there'll be some nice little glamour shots at the end here. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.